sometimes having too many options isn't a great thing. Welcome back to the channel. This is Tarot 101 from Nomadic Moon Arts. My name is Joan. Description box below will have links to all things about me and this channel and my sister tarot reading channel and all that stuff. But today we are looking at the sevens, and specifically in this video we are looking at the Seven of Cups, a complicated card that is frequently misinterpreted or underinterpreted. And so I'm going to try to hit it from all the critical angles to get started. The original definition of this card was delusion. That should help. But it's more to it than that. A very classic modern phrase to help one learn tarot on a superficial level is being spoiled for choice, right? That's a phrase you hear a lot associated with this card. And that's true. But the original definition, if you look, we see illusions, ghosts, snakes, women, castles, jewels, acclaim, danger, right? This is someone who not every choice is a good one. In fact, it literally says this right here in the Cozy Witch Tarot. Not every great option you're given will be a great option for you. So that's a generous take on that. Given what we have in these goblets, right? Some are just outright bad, but adventure, right? We've got abundance, a space helmet, a head, a flower, a snake, a rainbow. Weird, surreal, and that is deliberate. The Seven of Cups is the cup of Delulu, and that doesn't necessarily, sometimes Delulu is the Salulu, especially if you have, a need for escape for a while. It can be a temporary reprieve from reality, and that's great. This is a card of someone who likes to write a lot of fantasy or fan fiction. This is someone who likes to play video games. I am someone who likes to play video games. The last 2 years, I've liked to play one video game. My personal addiction to a certain vampire elf, but that's another story. Speaking of little stars, let's see. All the stars in heaven, all the choices, making a choice, right? From many options. It's a beautiful card. Beautiful. Seven of Cups. See, yeah, we have lots of choices, lots of cocktails, and yet it's still booze, right? Like too much, all of this would be bad. Too much booze is bad. In fact, new studies suggest that even the things that we associated with wine and goodness and resveratrol and all that, the alcohol itself kind of cancels that out, right? So, how do we read this when this shows up? In a love reading, it suggests to be careful. You may be projecting feelings onto someone that don't actually live there with them. Or it can mean that you're seeing something in them that isn't really there. Like you like someone in the way that, you get a crush on someone, you like someone, and all their bad qualities are downplayed and all their good qualities are pumped up to a level that is mostly in your mind. They're still just a person, right? They're still just a guy, a girl. They're cute and but they're not, otherworldly. They're not the end of everything normal. I mean, they're just people, right? And this is a card that overindulgence in fantasy can cause you pain. And also that the cure can be the poison and taken in too much. And also to just keep a good head on your shoulders, especially with other cards around, like, ooh, this card with the devil card, not great. Well, the devil card's kind of a bugger anyway, but this card with the devil card suggests definitely the definition of addiction. That's one of the definitions of the devil card. This would say yes, Yes, absolutely. We are talking addiction. Or the lover's card, maybe that commitment is more far off than you think. Or that offer won't quite the wrong offer, or maybe you're assuming something's coming your way, but it may not necessarily do it. Now, are all the definitions bad? No. No. Another definition of this card would be having so many choices that it just requires discernment, but it doesn't mean you can't make a good choice. It doesn't mean there isn't a good choice there. There is. There is victory there, right? There is abundance there. There is accolades, rainbows, there are good choices there. You just need to be discerning. This is the time to think less about, how your body responds to someone, or how your heart responds to someone, or even how your brain's firing for someone, for example. And instead pay attention to, you know, what do they do for you? It's important, for example, when you're dating someone, to not be thinking about, do they like me? Do they like me? Am I this? Am I that? Am I good enough? Am I that? And instead go, do I like them? What are they showing me? I mean, are they, do I like them? And pay entirely the attention that you should be paying to that. Am I making sense? I hope so, because I'm doing all of these off the cuff. And this one's kind of a complicated card. Context is king here. It really depends on what we're reading about and what cards are around it. But the initial, again, delusion. Be careful. You may only have one good choice, but it looks like you have 7. You may have one of these choices may be wholesome and just right for you, but all of them look tempting and you want them all. There's a greediness to this card you want to be careful with, because it could bite you in the bottom. Okay. So that's the introduction to the Seven of Cups. If you found this helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. That would mean a lot to me. I'm hoping to make this an evergreen and ongoing channel that's helpful to anybody who would like to learn tarot in these dystopic times and want an interesting occupation while they're surviving the weird, slow-moving apocalypse. Thanks again. This is Joan signing off. See you in the next one. Swords are next. They're weird too. Bye.